Okay, grade nines. Let's do our last lesson together. This is going to be our last lesson of new content. So I want you to try to get everything else finished up and get yourselves all caught up on the OLAs and the online assessments and all that stuff, please. Your updated marks will be posted at some point, either over the weekend or on Monday. I'm just finishing inputting them into the system. So a congrats on getting to the end of this with me here. I'm proud to have, been a part of this journey with you all, even though it has been, I mean, you can't argue the fact that it has been quite strange, a quite strange year. But we made it through. This is the last one. So we're going to talk about how to match equations and graphs. So I'm just going to get my screen going here. Okay. I think it's good. Yeah. Okay. Should be a short lesson. So this is just a scenario, a type of question that you can see where you'll have some options of graphs, or you'll have a graph and it'll look like something, and you'll have to figure out what equation is represented on that graph. So they're going to look like this. This is the format. The general format of this is y equals mx plus b. This is a really important general form for mathematics. And it's something that you'll see a lot more in the future. And it's basically just a general form of what we're seeing here for oblique or straight line graphs. I had a question from a student, what does the word oblique mean? It just means slanted. It's a slanted line. So how to do this question? How do I know which one of these three represents which one of these three down here? And the point of this today is for us to just at least, I know we don't have a ton of time, we're gonna have to do a little bit of makeup next year on this, but at least get a little bit familiar with what these three look like in terms of their graphical representation. So we're gonna try to match them. And the way to do it, it's actually quite straightforward. The way to do it is I'm gonna set up three little areas here. I'm gonna try all three of them on their own. So we're going to try y equals 3x plus 3, and then we're going to try x plus y equals 3, and then over here we'll try y equals 3x minus 3, and then we'll figure out which one they correspond to. Okay, so that is what we're going to do. Okay, so let's start with this one on the left. Y equals 3x plus 3. And all that you need to do is make a table of values, x and y, and just start plugging in values for x. And let's keep it really simple here, everybody. 0 and 1. Let's start with that. So if I plug in 0, I get, let's use all the colors today. Y equals 3 times 0 plus 3. What does that equal to? 3 times 0 is 0 plus 3 is 3. So y is equal to 3 there. And what about if y was equal to 1? Or sorry, if x was equal to 1. If x is equal to 1, we get 3 times 1 plus 3, which is 3 plus 3, which is 6. So there are values. We've got our 2 points. I'm going to use another color here. Our 2 points are 0 and 3 and 1 and 6. So now what I do is I come up in here and I look for these points, 0 and 3. So a an x value of 0 and a y value of 3. Oh, it actually is there. But then a x value of 1 and a y value of 6. That doesn't work, right? Is it going to work on here? X value of 0 and a y value of 3. Nope, doesn't work. So we're hoping here. X value of 0, y value of 3, x value of 1, y value of 6. So that's the one that matches. Okay, or we can just go down here. This one is C. There you go. A little process of elimination going to help us out there a little bit too. Let's try the next one. Same exact concept. All I'm going to do here, one extra little step, I'm going to rearrange this formula so it looks like this one. Okay, so what I'm going to end up with is I'm going to move my x to the other side. I want to have y equals, right? So I'm going to move my x to the other side and I get y equals minus x plus 3. So now it's the same thing here. It's just instead of a 3, it's a minus 1 basically, right? Plug in the exact same values, 0 and 1, and let's do them together again. So when x is equal to 0, we get minus 0 plus 3. Well, 0 is just 0, so again, y is just equal to 3. And what about if x is equal to 1? Y equals minus 1 plus 3. Well, what's minus 1 plus 3? We all know that. It's 2. So our two values are an x. Remember, we always have x, y. That's how we write out our points, right? X, y. So 0 and 3 again, and 1 and 2. So we come up here and we look again. Does this one have a 0 and 3? No, it doesn't. This one does though. 0 and 3 is right there. And then we want 1 and an x value of 1 and a y value of 2. And that is it right there. So there you go. So we're 2 for 2. So now just by process of elimination, that one's A. We know that the last one is going to be B, but we're here to do it, right? So let's actually do it. Let's do our last step here. Table of values, not hard. X and Y, a value of 0 and a value of 1. Plug them in. So Y is equal to 3 times 0 minus 3. 0 minus 3 is just minus 3. So our y value is minus 3. And then if x is equal to 1, we get 3 times 1 minus 3. 3 times 1 is just 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So 1 and 0. So again, in our points, our x and y format, we have 0 and minus 3, and then 1 and 0. So let's just make sure that it makes sense. 0 and so an x value of 0, a y value of minus 3. Awesome. And then an x value of 1 and a y value of 0. Awesome as well. Works perfectly. And this one is B. So there you have it. That's how you can match up graphs to their appropriate equations. So what I want you to do, rather than worrying about doing the textbook questions, I'm going to make it a little bit easier for you here. Do the same thing that I just did. Try example number 2 on your own, okay? 2 and 3. Try these both on your own. They're very, very similar questions. Just make a table of values, plug in some very simple basic values for x, find what y is, and find the corresponding line that matches with either 1 or 2 or 3 points. You can't do 1, sorry, 2 or 3 or more points. Okay, and if you're feeling confident, I think you should be able to do example 3 as well. So, like I said, congrats on making it to what is our, modified end. We would have gotten farther if we were in class. That's just, the way that things are right now, but that's okay. We'll make up for it later. Have a great weekend. It's been a pleasure. I hope that the videos have served you well. It's been a pleasure getting to know all of you, and I will obviously be seeing you all next year, and I'm excited about that. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to see you again. If you want to come in next week for a visit or an appointment, please email me, and you can book one of those next week. But as for new content, we're not doing any more new content, no more new videos, just maybe one final little online assessment I'll assign on Monday. I'll give you a few days to do it. Okay, have a great weekend. and I'll talk to you on Monday.